Mark and Valentina are a married couple, whose life, up until a certain point, could well be called happy. Until the news comes down on them that their daughter Jenny has a recurrence of the cancer they seem to have already treated a few years ago. As if that wasn't enough, instead of the expected promotion, Mark gets fired, so the $50,000 needed for Jenny's treatment now seem like an absolutely fantastic sum. Trying to find the necessary money, Mark, on his brother's tip, turns to an underground loan shark, and then to a fortune teller, who brings him together with the mysterious Luke. The man promises to fulfill the couple's most cherished wish for a certain price. Probably everyone who is more or less interested in movies has heard the cautionary tale of Terrence Howard's dismissal from the Marvel movie universe. Once a popular and promising actor, Howard played a key role in the first part of Iron Man, but then did not agree to the terms that he was offered by the studio in the sequel, and was promptly replaced by Don Cheadle, who has since appeared in 6 more films and 2 series of the franchise. Howard, on the other hand, stayed afloat for a few more years and gradually got bogged down in B-movies, which eventually led him into flicks with Dolph Lundgren and Skeletons in the Closet, one of the murkiest attempts by Hollywood stars to try their hand behind the camera. When the movie was first announced via cinema industry website Deadline, the story only mentioned Howard as playing the lead role, but he is eventually credited as one of the scriptwriters. There are also other suspicious inconsistencies in the credits. The movie was directed by Asif Akbar, not Lance Kawas, who was listed in the news as the director of the project, and all this gives reason to suspect that something went wrong on the shooting. These suspicions are not just strengthened, but cemented during the viewing, because the plot of Skeletons in the Closet is so holy that it seems as if the script was not just rewritten, but at some point thrown out and recreated from the scratch with the help of a neuronet. The main victim of all these creative endeavors is the criminal line, which starts idiotically, develops very strangely, and ends up with nothing. Mark asks a loan shark for $50,000, but he is given only half of it at 30% interest. Realizing what he has gotten himself into, Mark is sad, but seems to think neither how he will repay this debt nor where he will get the rest of the money. When the couple turns to Luke, the problem with the crime lords fades into the background and then just resolves itself in a scene that was obviously filmed last minute. Why this whole plotline, which doesn't affect or lead to anything, wasn't cut in the editing process, isn't very clear. Not very clear is the key phrase for Skeletons in the Closet in general. It's not very clear what the spouses agree with Luke, it's not very clear why they two don't think at all how they will fulfill their part of the contract, it's not very clear where the suspense is in all of this, it's not very clear why everything on the screen looks so cheap, stupid, and ill-conceived, and even more so, it's not very clear what the honored actors are doing here. Among the latter are Cuba Gooding Jr. in the thankless role of Mark's brother, Clifton Powell as a priest, and Sally Kirkland as a fortune teller. And specifically these 3 characters, again, could have been removed from the movie without the slightest damage to the main plot. In Skeletons in the Closet, in general, frankly, there are too many husks, useless details that give nothing to the story, but just wind up the timing. But, on the other hand, it's also the kind of story whose main question is very simple: who decided this story is worthy to tell, in the first place?